getting crafty and nerding out with a new geeky DIY project for you guys. If that sounds awesome, hit that subscribe button down below to join our NerDIY family. It has been super chilly out these days and I needed something to warm up my ears because they're so cold. So I decided to make a ear warmer inspired by Kiki's delivery service, the Miyazaki film. In Kiki's delivery service, Kiki is a witch in training and she has her own delivery service where she glides around on her broom and delivers things to the people of the city that she chose. The cutest thing about Kiki is her adorable red bow and cute witch's outfit with the blue dress, and they just match perfectly together. So I thought I'd make this ear warmer with a really awesome big ol' red bow just to fit right in as Kiki's delivery service. So why don't we get started and make our ears a little more toasty.
The first thing you're gonna do is grab a piece of red flannel fabric and fold it in half. Then you're gonna take that template that I provided for you guys down below for free, and you're gonna place it on the fold and trace the template on with a piece of chalk or a pencil or whatever you like. I like chalk best because it comes off really easily. Once you have that traced, you're gonna grab your scissors and cut along the chalk lines. And then you should have a piece of fabric that looks like this when it's pulled apart. Next, we're gonna cut out a large rectangle on a single piece of the flannel at 7 by 14 inches. I used a piece of white paper to measure this at first so that it wouldn't take as long to measure out on the fabric. You can do this however you want. It also made it easier so I can make more of these later. Next, I'm gonna cut a smaller rectangle that is 5 inches by 10 inches out. And then last but not least, I'm gonna cut an even smaller rectangle out that is 2 inches by 5 inches. And once you have everything cut out, it should look just like this. Now it's time to sew the main part of our headpiece. What we're gonna do is we're gonna fold over 1/4 of an inch the edges of our first piece that we cut out, and we're gonna sew along the line so that we have a nice clean edge. We're going to sew the 2 long sides first, and then we'll come back around and sew the shorter edges. This way we'll make sure that we have nice clean edges around the entire piece of fabric. And this is what it should look like once you have all of your edges sewed on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to measure the fit of our head. So you're going to put this on your head and mark with a piece of chalk where you want the edges to connect to each other. So this can make it as tight or as not as tight as you'd like. Once you have that mark, you're going to take a Velcro dot and you're going to stick it onto the piece that is closest to where you marked. And then you're going to take a second Velcro piece and you're going to stick that on as well. Now what you're going to want to do is you want to get your glue gun and you're going to put a dollop of glue on one side of the Velcro pieces. And then flip your fabric over so that it connects with the Velcro pieces and wait till that dries. You can do this with sewing as well. I chose to do hot glue because it was a lot easier. Now we're gonna start on our bow. You're gonna take the big rectangle and fold it in half horizontally. Then push down the crease so you can kind of see where the middle part is. And we're gonna take a piece of glue and we're gonna put that all the way down the middle part. Now you're gonna fold in each edge onto that piece of glue. Set this aside and we're gonna do the same thing with our medium-sized rectangle. We're gonna fold it over in half horizontally, put some hot glue in the middle and fold the edges inward. Then we're gonna take our smallest rectangle and we're gonna fold that in half vertically and do the same exact thing that we did with the other rectangles by putting a piece of hot glue in the middle and folding over the sides on the hot glue. Now we're going to fold our bow pieces. Take the large rectangle and place it face down on the side that you put the glue on. And then take the smaller rectangle and place it on top with the side you put the glue on. And then put some hot glue on there and make sure they're glued together. So we're gonna make our bow by pinching the middle, flipping it over and adding some hot glue. Now, flip it back over and add a piece of hot glue to the middle side and gather in one of the edges until dry. Flip it over and put a piece of hot glue into the well part of that bow. Then put a piece of hot glue on the other side and gather in the edge piece like we did for the first edge. Wait for that hot glue to dry and flip over the bow and place a piece of hot glue into that well and wait for that to dry. Now we're going to take our scissors and make a small snip on each of the edges so that they can be folded over onto the bow. Put a dollop of glue on each piece so that it will stick to the back side of the bow. This will help give our bow that fun big bow shape that we really like. Then we're going to take our smallest rectangle and we're going to glue the middle side onto the front of the bow. Then bring around the edges to the back side of the bow and glue them on. Make sure you do this really tight so the rest of our bow will be bunched up as much as possible. Then bring around the second edge and glue that on as well. Wait until this is dry, then you have your perfectly shaped bow to put onto our ear warmer. Then what you want to do is you want to bring your ear warmer back up and measure on your head where you want that bow to be. Then mark it with a piece of chalk. Once you've done that, take a hot glue gun and put the hot glue right where you marked where you want the center of your bow to be and hot glue that on. Then you're just going to take different parts of your bow where you want it to be stuck down with hot glue. That way we can make sure that it's not flopping around and it stays on really well. You can do this in as many places as you want. It will change how the bow sits on your head, so make sure that you put them in the places that you think will make it look the cutest on your head. Once that's dry, you have your super cute Kiki's Delivery Service ear warmer with the cutest bow I have ever seen.
I know I'm super excited to be sporting my ear warmer around and keeping my ears nice and warm. I really just love the bow. I think it looks super cute on and it's so soft and wonderful. If you guys decide to make this, I would love to see your pictures. Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. I would totally love to see how it turns out. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next week for another DIY project where we get crafty and nerd out.